शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मच्छ्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं दूतीक्रमं मण्डलं वीराञ्जष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकं श्रीमन्मालिनी मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम्। श्रीविमर्शानन्दनाथं सत्याम्बासहितं गुरुं हृत्पद्मकर्णिका मध्ये भावयेत् सर्वसिद्धये। श्रीभासुरानन्दनाथाय नमः। श्रीभास्करराय गुरुमण्डलाय नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्।
Namaste everybody. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Welcome to today's session of Soundaryalahari. We just saw the first and second verse in yesterday's class. Today we will move on to the third and fourth verse. As we did yesterday, we will repeat twice after Shri Raghuji. We will learn how to pronounce each word properly, and then following which Srimati Priya and Parmesh and Mahinta and Karthik, they will guide us through the rendering part. They will sing the same verse in a musical way. Today's verse will also be in Gambhira Natai, and following which we will discuss quickly the meaning of the third and the fourth verse. So we'll now start to recite the third verse of Soundaryalahari. avidyānāṃ
Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī.
Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī. Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī.
Avidyānāṃ Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī.
Avidyānāṃ Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī. Avidyānāṃ Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī.
jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī.
Makaranda-srutijharī.
jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī.
jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī. jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī.
Avidyānāṃ Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī. jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī.
Avidyānāṃ Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī. jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī. Avidyānāṃ Antastimira-mihiradvīpanagarī. jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī.
daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā.
daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā. daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā.
janmajaladhau.
janmajaladhau. janmajaladhau.
daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā. janmajaladhau.
daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā. janmajaladhau. दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ
निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति. So we will now recite all of the 4 lines of the third verse twice. अविद्यानाम् अन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबक-मकरन्दश्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति अविद्यानाम् अन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबक-मकरन्दश्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति. So hope you're all able to follow the chanting part. Now we will move on to the rendition of the same verse in a musical way in Gambhira Nate Ragam. Srimati Priya and Parmesh and Mahinta and Karthik will now teach us how to render this musically.
avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī
avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī
jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī
jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī
avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī
avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī avidyānāmanta-stimira-mihiradvīpanagarī jaḍānāṃ chaitanya-stabaka-makaranda-srutijharī
daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā janmajaladhau daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā janmajaladhau
daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā janmajaladhau daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā janmajaladhau
निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबक-मकरन्द-श्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबक-मकरन्द-श्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति
अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबक-मकरन्द-श्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबक-मकरन्द-श्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति.
So let's look into the meanings of the third shloka. The third shloka, the third verse of Soundaryalahari, is about meditation on Devi's lotus feet. For those afflicted with avidya or ignorance, Devi's feet, Bhagavad Pada says, is the island of shelter removing ignorance. Here, ignorance is compared to darkness, and just as the morning sun removes darkness, Devi's feet is capable of removing avidya, Bhagavad Pada says. For those who are less intelligent, Devi becomes the amrita or nectar of awareness pouring from the cluster of flowers like water gushing from a broken dam. And for the poverty-stricken, called daridrāṇāṃ chintāmaṇiguṇanikā janmajaladhau, she is the necklace of gems which can grant all wishes. And for those who are drowned in the ocean of samsara, she helps the devotee by lifting him up just like the tusk of Varaha, the incarnation of Vishnu who raised the earth from deep under the ocean. Now, to understand the Varaha avatara of Vishnu, we should remember the Puranic story of Hiranyaksha, Asura, stealing the earth and hiding it under the ocean, and Vishnu takes the avatara as a Varaha or a boar, and then he lifts the earth from the ocean and places it back to its original place, freeing it from the clutches of Hiranyaksha Asura.
I believe the first line of this verse needs more elaboration. This verse explains the philosophy of Advaita, where Atmajnana principles like Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, etc. are important. What we see as many different things is the one and only Brahman. And the reason we perceive differently is due to Mula Avidya or primary ignorance. Normally, ignorance is equated with darkness. For example, if we step on a rope when we are walking in forest in pitch darkness, we may wrongly think that we stepped on a snake. And if we step on a snake, we may think that we just stepped on a rope. This misconception will be removed the moment we light a lamp and the light removes the darkness, and we can say whether we really stepped on a snake or a rope. Here, avidya is not jnanasya abhavaha. That is absence of knowledge. It is also incorrect understanding of what we have learned. Hence, avidyānāṃ refers to those who have avidya, and it is referred to as darkness or timira or tamasa. Mihira is sun. Also, the place of darkness is located in the heart. Just as when the sun rises, darkness is removed and everything looks bright, Devi's smallest dust from her lotus feet is sufficient to remove avidya and reveal to them their true nature, which is called Brahmajnanam. In Lalita Trishati, the same concept is given in the Nama Hārda Santa Masapaha. So, Hārda means heart. So, the English word heart is from the Sanskritam Hārda. Hārda means heart. Santamasa is darkness and Apaha is remover. So, Hārda Santa Masapaha. We see the same concept in Lalita Sahasranamam. Bhakta Hārda Tamobheda Bhādumad Bhādu Santatihi. The first two shlokas of Soundaryalahari, we saw how Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra are able to do their functions efficiently. The first time the benefits that can be obtained by humans is expressly stated in the first line of the third shloka, and therefore this line is very important. From a practical point of view, the first thing humans will seek out is artha or material prosperity, which will aid humans to lead righteous lives and attain happiness. But we should ponder over why Acharya Bhagavatpada Shankaracharya is first seeking out the removal of ajnana. This is because the Shruti or Vedas in Kaula Upanishad says Atmajnānāṃ mokshaha, meaning liberation can be obtained only by self-knowledge or self-realization. Also, it is natural that only when a person is fully contented and happy, meaning that he has enjoyed the fruits of the first three purusharthas, dharma, artha and kama, he or she will be inclined to wish the moksha purushartha. Finally, the main aim of Sri Vidya Sadhana is removal of this avidya or the Mula Avidya, and removal of the Mula Avidya is not easy as we are drowned in the ocean of samsara. Mahatripura Sundari as Shiva Shakti is alone capable of removing this ajnana, as said in Lalita Sahasranama, Samsara Panka Nirmagna Samudharana Pandita.
Beautiful. So we just tried to discuss a little bit of the third verse of Soundaryalahari. May Bhagavad Pada bless us with the understanding of concepts of Soundaryalahari. We will now move on to learning the fourth verse of Soundaryalahari. First, we will learn the chanting part and then move on to the rendition part.
tvadanyaḥ pāṇibhyāṃ abhayavaradō daivatagaṇaḥ tvadanyaḥ pāṇibhyāṃ abhayavaradō daivatagaṇaḥ tvamēkā naivāsi prakaṭitavarābhītyabhinayā tvamēkā naivāsi prakaṭitavarābhītyabhinayā tvadanyaḥ pāṇibhyāṃ abhayavaradō daivatagaṇaḥ tvamēkā naivāsi prakaṭitavarābhītyabhinayā bhayāt trātuṃ dātuṃ phalamapi ca vāñChāsamadhikaṃ bhayāt trātuṃ dātuṃ phalamapi ca vāñChāsamadhikaṃ शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
Now we will recite all of the 4 lines of the 4th verse together 2 times.
tvadanyaḥ pāṇibhyāṃ abhayavaradō daivatagaṇaḥ tvamēkā naivāsi prakaṭitavarābhītyabhinayā bhayāt trātuṃ dātuṃ phalamapi ca vāñChāsamadhikaṃ शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदो दैवतगणः
त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया
भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकं शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ. So now we will listen to Priya, Parmesh, Mahinta and Karthik and learn the rendition of the same verse, the 4th verse in Gambhira Nate.
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः
त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया
त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया
भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम्
भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम्
शारण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ शारण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि शरणावेव निपुणौ शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि शरणावेव निपुणौ भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ.
Let us now look into the meanings of the fourth verse. Fourth verse of Soundaryalahari talks about the qualities of Devi to grant boons for those worshipping her. She gives all material enjoyment and final liberation to her devotees. As Tantras say, for the seeker of bhoga, there is no moksha, and for the seeker of moksha, there is no bhoga. But for Devi's worshippers or Sri Vidya Upasakas, both bhoga and moksha are obtained and enjoyed. Here, Bhagavad-pada Shankaracharya wants to show us the superiority of Devi worship when compared to worshipping other gods like Shiva, Vishnu, etc. He does so by praising the greatness of Devi, but he is very careful to not put down other gods. He says, while other gods need their hands to confer boons to devotees and provide them protection, like the Abhaya Hasta gives protection to devotees and Varada Hasta confers boons to devotees. He says, while other gods need their hands to confer boons to devotees and provide them protection, Devi's feet are sufficient for her devotees. Here Acharya says, people of this world, when they bow to Devi and offer prostration, when they do namaskara, they get much more than they ask, for her feet have expertise and power to give more than one can ask.
This is vāñChāsadhikaṃ phalam. So vāñca is wanting, adhikam phalam means giving or getting much more than even asked for or expected. So that is the greatness of the mother's quality. And when we worship the Mahatripu Sundari, she is same like our own mother, giving much more than we ask for. There are two more significant words in this verse, Abhaya and Vara. Mabhayavarado daivatagaṇaḥ. That is the Abhaya and Vara. The words Abhaya and Vara have deeper meanings. As always, to understand deeper meaning, we need to think hard and learn with patience. The word Abhayam or fearlessness and how a person can attain fearlessness is explained in Taittiriya Upanishad. Yadakhe vaishaye tasmin adrisye natme nirukte nilayane bhayam pratishtham vindhate. So it means yadakhe vaishaye tasmin adrisye anatme anirukte anilayane abhayam pratishtham vindhate. Atatasya abhayam bhavati. That person who is able to perceive that which does not change, which has no physical body, which cannot be explained in words, which is not bound by limitation of space and time, such person becomes fearless. Thus, person who has Brahma-jnanam is fearless. Also, the Vedas say the person who has this Brahma-jnana attains the highest human attainment called moksha. The two sentences, Brahma-jnani attains fearlessness or abhaya, and Brahmajnani attains moksha implies that moksha is fearlessness or abhaya. In this verse, Bhagavad Pada indicates moksha purushartha by using the word abhaya. In the Ramayana, sage Yajnavalkya says to Maharaja Janaka, Abhayam vai Janaka praptosi, to imply Janaka will be blessed with moksha siddhi. Further, Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yada hye vaishaye tasminnudaramantaraṃ kurute atatasya bhayam bhavati. That person who perceives Brahman as not one but many, that person is caught up in the web of fearfulness. Upanishad also says, Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Only due to perceiving Brahman as a different entity does one endure fear. The one who has fear is Ajnani. Shankaracharya in another kavya, Soundaryalahari, says, Tvam ajnānāṃ iccādhikamapi samartha vitarane. Meaning, he says, Hey Devi, for those who desire material wealth, that is, those who want dharma, artha and kama, you are capable of bestowing much more than they seek from you. This granting of material wealth is alluded by the word vara. Thus, abhaya implies moksha and vara implies the other three purusharthas, dharma, artha and kama. Some scholars consider that this verse contains the Kama Kala mantra.
So this is what is explained in the 4th verse. We have just completed today's session with learning the 3rd and the 4th verse. We have just learned how to recite them, and how to render them in the Gambhira Nate Ragam. And also we have just discussed a little bit of the meanings that Acharya wants to convey. So see you all tomorrow for learning the 5th and the 6th verse of Soundaryalahari. Please join us the same time. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.